Hello there, very good evening and welcome to the news tonight here on Sabha TV. I'm Tracy Shilshi and in the next 30 minutes I'll be getting into the day's top stories, starting with the headlines. 8 CRPF personnel are killed in a militant attack in Jammu and Kashmir's Pampore region. 25 personnel are injured. 2 militants also shot dead. Prime Minister Narendra Modi launches the Smart City projects in Pune to mark the first anniversary of the launch of the mission. A total investment of 48,000 crores is proposed. Jammu and Kashmir Chief Minister Mehbooba Mufti wins the Anantnag by-poll. Opposition parties, though, boycott counting, alleging discrepancies in the polls. And European Union founding members meet in Berlin to discuss the future of the bloc as protests are held in the United Kingdom, demanding a second referendum. Our top story this hour, 8 CRPF personnel were killed and 25 injured after at least 4 terrorists attacked a 3-vehicle convoy in Pampore sector of Pulwama district. While 2 terrorists were gunned down in retaliatory fire, 2 others managed to escape in a car following heavy gunfire exchange between the 2 sides. A red alert has been issued and search and combing operations continue as 2 more militants are believed to be hiding in the vicinity of the encounter area. In fact, Pakistan-based terrorist organization Lashkar-e-Toiba has claimed responsibility for this attack. This is the second attack on security forces in 3 weeks. Earlier this month, 2 BSF personnel were killed and 5 injured when terrorists attacked their convoy on the Srinagar-Jammu highway in Anantnag district.
गाड़ी में जो हमारे जवान थे ये अपनी फायरिंग रेंज से प्रैक्टिस करके वापस आ रहे थे तो उन पे यहाँ अचानक अटैक हुआ है और जवानों ने बहादुरी से रिटेलिएट किया। उस रिटेलिएशन में दोनों मिलिटेंट जो हैं वो यहीं न्यूट्रलाइज कर दिए गए हैं
कि वो तो ऑपरेशन में नहीं थे, वो एक फायरिंग प्रैक्टिस होते हैं, वहाँ से वो लौट रहे थे तो ऐसे में अटैक हुआ। ये बहुत क्षति पहुंचा है। जो गाड़ी में थे वो फरार हो गए, जो सामने में जो फायरिंग के उनको तो मार गिराया।
Meanwhile, in other national stories, work on the government's ambitious Smart City project began today with the Prime Minister launching 14 such projects in Pune. Many chief ministers of the states, or where these cities in fact are located, connected to the launch via video conferencing. Prime Minister Narendra Modi called the smart cities the foundation of a brighter future.
Prime Minister Narendra Modi launched 14 smart city projects in Pune on Saturday. Speaking at the launch, he termed the project as the foundation for a better tomorrow.
इस काम के लिए इतने पैसे दिए जाएंगे वो नहीं है। ये अपने आप में एक बहुत बड़ा जन आंदोलन है। ये बीते हुई कल के अनुभव के आधार पर उज्जवल भविष्य की नींव रखने का एक सार्थक प्रयास है।
The Prime Minister also said that smart cities would help fight poverty as lakhs migrate to cities from villages in search for a better future.
शहर में गरीबी को पचाने की ताकत हो, गरीबी को पचा पाए, जल्दी से गरीबी को पचा पाए और उसी गरीबी से जो पचा करके जो ताकत ऊर्जा पैदा हो उससे विकास के नए आयाम पैदा करे, इस दिशा में हमने सोचा है।
Urban Development Minister Venkaiah Naidu, who was also present at the launch, said that the proposed smart cities would not only have basic infrastructure but also take care of the poor.
What people need is 24/7 water supply, 24/7 electrical supply, sanitation, solid waste management, housing for the poor is an important component of the smart city project. गरीब लोगों के लिए मकान निर्माण करना भी एक महत्वपूर्ण विषय है।
True to its spirit, all of the smart city projects were launched via video conferencing.
Been started today for Jaipur are installation and commissioning of the rooftop solar power plant, restoration and rejuvenation of traditional water bodies, restoration and beautification of gardens, and real-time information systems for bus shelters.
In line with the commitment to transform Bhubaneswar into a vibrant modern city, the state government will continue its efforts. We have amended our laws and brought in landmark policies in housing, land development, urban infrastructure, financing, etc.
The Prime Minister also launched a smart net portal. The smart cities that will be developed now include Bhubaneswar, Pune, Jaipur, Ahmedabad, Visakhapatnam, among others. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
Jammu and Kashmir Chief Minister Mehbooba Mufti won the Anantnag Assembly seat in the by-elections. In a three-corner contest, the PDP chief won the seat by more than 12,000 votes. Of the 28,500 votes, Mufti secured 17,701, followed by the Congress's Hilal Shah with 5,616, while the National Conference's Iftikhar Misgar stood a distant third with 2,811 votes. The Congress and the National Conference, however, boycotted the counting process and accused discrepancies during the polls. They also alleged that the EVMs were tampered with and demanded cancellation of the by-elections. The Anantnag seat fell vacant after sitting Chief Minister Mufti Mohammad Saeed died on the 7th of January. The constituency then went to polls on the 22nd of June. Mehbooba Mufti was also elected to the Lok Sabha from the Anantnag Parliament seat in 2014, but returned to the state politics in April this year to take over as the state's Chief Minister after her father's demise.
Well, I was in the counting hall. I saw all the machines without seal. When I raised the question why the machines are without seal, so we were told, the administration told us that we will put you under PSA, we will put you behind the bars, don't shoot, keep mum here. So it is very clear that the machines have been changed. It is totally, breach of trust. They have changed the machines. I demand as Congress candidate, this by-election should be rescheduled. Till that, we will continue our protest.
We also found a trunk which were supposed to be sealed with the proper sealing, and which was found it was unsealed, found. And when our people start raising the fingers, and what administration claimed that our staff is not highly equipped and highly trained, so it is a lapse of the staff.
Unfortunately, पहले round के end पे Congress candidate has fallen short of numbers, and as a consequence of which इन्होंने बहुत ज़्यादा हंगामा किया. They tried to break machines, they tried to break the EVMs also. इन्होंने तोड़फोड़ करने की कोशिश की है.
The Samajwadi Party on Saturday called off its merger with Mukhtar Ansari's Qaumi Ekta Dal just 3 days after announcing the decision, drawing all-round flack. The decision came soon after UP Chief Minister Akhilesh Yadav categorically announced that the ruling party does not want such people. The party also decided to re-induct Secondary Education Minister Balram Yadav. Yadav was sacked by Akhilesh, apparently for facilitating the merger. Ansari, an MLA from Mau, is in jail as an accused in a murder case. Ansari's brother is also an MLA of his party, founded in 2010.
मैं आपसे क्या कह बोलते मैंने कह दिया ना आपसे कि मुख्तार अंसारी नहीं होंगे पार्टी में. सवाल ये है कि हम विकास की दिशा में ले जा रहे हैं. इतना काम किया है 4 साल में, इसलिए हम क्यों मुद्दों से अलग से हटें. हम चाहते हैं कि उत्तर प्रदेश को आगे ले जाएं.
उस पर फैसला हो गया है कि उसका विलय समाजवादी पार्टी में नहीं होगा. और दूसरा निर्णय ये हुआ कि बलराम सिंह जी को दोबारा मंत्रिमंडल में शामिल किया जाएगा.
A Delhi court has dismissed the bail plea of Aam Aadmi Party MLA Dinesh Mohania in an alleged molestation case and sent him to judicial custody till Monday. Mohania was arrested by the police in a dramatic fashion in the middle of a press conference. Here are more details.
रात को 2 बजे मेरे घर पे 30 पुलिस वाले पहुंचे और वो
In a dramatic incident in front of cameras, Aam Aadmi Party MLA Dinesh Mohania was arrested by the Delhi police as he addressed a press conference. Interestingly, during the press conference, Mohania was levelling accusations on the Delhi police. Clarifying the issue, Delhi police says the MLA was arrested as he was not cooperating with the probe.
को नोटिस दे रहे हैं, आप कोऑपरेट नहीं कर रहे हैं, आप पुलिस का तफ्तीश नहीं ज्वाइन करना चाहते हैं, तो फिर हमारे पास और कोई ऑप्शन नहीं रह जाता है आपको तफ्तीश में शामिल करने का. तो इसलिए इनको उठाया, अरेस्ट किया गया है और कोर्ट में पेश करेंगे.
The arrest has raised political temperatures in the national capital, with Chief Minister Arvind Kejriwal tweeting that there was an emergency-like situation in Delhi. The Aam Aadmi Party is standing firmly behind its MLA, claiming this was all a part of vendetta politics.
तो ऐसे में बस उनके पास एक हथियार बचा है, पुलिस का इस्तेमाल करो और सब कुछ एकदम सब कानून कायदे सब चीजों को किनारे रखे. जिस तरह से आम आदमी पार्टी के विधायकों के ऊपर आरोप लगाए जा रहे हैं और जिस तरह से उठाया जा रहा है, साफ समझ में आ रहा है कि मोदी जी बहुत बुरी तरह से बौखला गए.
However, the incident has given political fodder to the opposition.
अगर कानून को अपने हाथ में लेंगे तो दिल्ली की राजधानी के अंदर कानून के हिसाब से काम होना जरूरी है और पुलिस अपनी कार्रवाई कर रही है और आप प्रेस कॉन्फ्रेंस करके इसको महिमा मंडित करेंगे, इसलिए आप जहां भी होंगे पुलिस तो आपको गिरफ्तार करेगी।
देखिए, अगर कोई इस्तेमाल कर रहा है दिल्ली पुलिस का और आम आदमी पार्टी इतनी पाकसाफ पार्टी है तो कोर्ट्स खुले हैं। कई बार अगर पुलिस एक्शन नहीं लेती है, गलत एक्शन लेती है तो कोर्ट के माध्यम से उसको ठीक किया जाता है।
Mohania faces charges of not only misbehaving with the woman but also slapping a senior citizen in the city state. With Navvikram Singh, Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
Meanwhile, the Delhi Chief Minister's suggestion that a referendum be held to decide whether Delhi be given the status of a full state has brought the issue to the fore once again. However, both the opposition parties and constitutional experts have termed the idea of a referendum as unconstitutional.
Delhi Chief Minister Arvind Kejriwal's suggestion of conducting a referendum on Delhi being given the status of a full state has met with strong criticism. Both Congress and BJP have termed it as diversionary tactic of AAP government in the NCT.
कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन है एक, अब क्योंकि इंग्लैंड में हुआ है, ये शायद वहाँ से इंस्पिरेशन उनको मिली तो इन्होंने कहा यहाँ पर भी हम रेफरेंडम करवा देते हैं। उनकी पुलिस कमिश्नर से भी लड़ाई है, सेंट्रल गवर्नमेंट से भी लड़ाई है, तो ये मैं दिल्ली के हित के लिए कह रही हूँ कि दिल्ली के हित के लिए अब आप काम करना शुरू कर दीजिएगा।
भारत का संविधान, यूके का संविधान, ये संविधान सब अलग हैं। रेफरेंडम तो आप करते ही आए, दिल्ली की जनता कर तो रही है रेफरेंडम। लगातार मुख्यमंत्री के ऊपर एफआईआर हो रही हैं, एमएलएस के ऊपर एफआईआर हो रही हैं।
Referendum cannot be an answer for every issue in a country like India. However, I do fully support the claim for statehood for Delhi.
Even constitutional experts have said there is no scope for a referendum in the Indian constitution.
देखिए, ये शब्द बिल्कुल संविधान में नहीं है। ये शब्द एकदम गैर संवैधानिक है। ये शब्द, ये रेफरेंडम कराना बहुत खतरनाक है। ये देश तोड़ देगा, ये गलत परंपरा बन जाएगी।
However, the Aam Aadmi Party, which heads the government in Delhi, has defended the idea mooted by its chief, accusing the BJP-led central government of creating hurdles for the state government.
देखिए, आम आदमी पार्टी का स्पष्ट तौर पे मानना है, चुनाव के पहले भी हमने अपने मैनिफेस्टो में इस बात को रखा था कि दिल्ली को पूर्ण राज्य का दर्जा मिलना चाहिए। हम आज भी अपने उस डिमांड पर कायम हैं और उसको सही रूप देने के लिए, सही में दिल्ली को पूर्ण राज्य का दर्जा दिलाने के लिए हमें जो भी कदम उठाने पड़ेंगे हम उठाएंगे।
Delhi Chief Minister Arvind Kejriwal had on Friday tweeted about the idea of a referendum on this issue on the lines of Brexit referendum. With Navvikram Singh, Vishal Dahiya, Rajya Sabha TV, Delhi.
India is working towards completing the fencing of the international border with Bangladesh to stop, check trans-border movement of militants and prevent infiltration and cross-border crimes. The entire work of covering the border will be completed in 2 years' time. According to the Secretary, Border Management, the government has agreed on an action plan in this regard and is also planning to raise some fences in few spots on the border with Myanmar as well. India shares a 4,096-kilometer-long border with Bangladesh in West Bengal, Assam, Meghalaya, Mizoram and Tripura. India has started erecting a fence and putting up floodlights all along the India-Bangladesh border covering 5 states. In fact, Mizoram, Manipur, Nagaland and Arunachal Pradesh share a 1,640-kilometer unfenced border with Myanmar. On to weather, and in some good news, providing relief from the sweltering heat in North India, the southwest monsoon is expected to arrive in the next 3 to 4 days in Delhi and other northern states. According to the Met Department, heavy rains are expected in the sub-Himalayan districts of Darjeeling, Cooch Behar and Jalpaiguri by Monday. However, overall rainfall in India has been 18% below normal, with 30% of the country receiving deficient rainfall. The deficit, though, is expected to narrow in the coming days as monsoon rains are likely to end in India later than usual this year, with showers towards the latter stages of the season. Monsoons were delayed by a week in Kerala this year. With that, a look at what's making news across the country in Nationwide. 16 people lost their eyesight after a free cataract surgery at a government hospital in Tamil Nadu. The victims were among 23 people who visited the camp at Mettur Hospital. The State Health Department has sent a team comprising ophthalmologists and doctors to the hospital for a probe. Samples of the medicines given to the patients have also been sent to a laboratory in Chennai. A white tigress died at Siddharth Zoo in Aurangabad in Maharashtra after a brief illness. Officials say that she had not been eating well for the last few days. Tests revealed that her lungs, kidneys and liver were malfunctioning. However, the exact cause of her illness is still unknown. This is the fourth case of a tiger death in the zoo this year. BSP Supremo Mayawati today made it clear that estranged party leader Swami Prasad Maurya will not be allowed to rejoin the party, calling him disloyal to the party and his community and someone who worked only for his own selfish interests. She said that history will never forgive him. She was talking to the media ahead of a meeting of the BSP Legislative Party to elect a new leader. Maurya quit the party on the 22nd of June, accusing his leader of auctioning tickets for the 2017 Assembly elections. We'll have a quick break here. We'll be back with the international news in a bit. Stay with us.
Hello and a warm welcome to It's My Life. Tracking the country's Union Aviation Minister. So you have a sweet tooth also?
Yeah, I'm very fond of ice cream.
Anything you want to ask him?
We have only seen you in TV, but we haven't seen you directly actually. That's your
favorite comic artist?
Oh, I have a lot of Archies. Watch me on It's My Life only on Sabha TV.
Art arisen from a multi-hued cultural canvas. Tradition and cultural fervour dating back centuries. And encircling them all, there's a magic that awes. Embrace your nation's brilliant human warmth. Watch Colours of India, Sundays at 9:30 p.m. on Rajya Sabha television.
Welcome back. International news. And the 6 founding members of the European Union huddled in Berlin on Saturday to discuss the future of the bloc following Brexit. Before the hastily arranged talks began, the diplomats said that it was important to see the United Kingdom's exit as a wake-up call.
Top diplomats from the European Union's 6 founding nations met in Berlin on Saturday. As the leaders met, there was a realization that the vote must be seen as a wake-up call.
Der Schock der Abstimmung in Großbritannien, der Abschied Großbritanniens aus der Europäischen Union, das steckt uns alles noch tief in den Knochen. Und das sind natürlich jetzt Tage, in denen noch nicht alle Antworten für die jetzt offenen Fragen bereit liegen.
Foreign ministers of Germany, France, Netherlands, Italy, Belgium and Luxembourg met in Berlin, and they are definitely looking at the future, as there was consensus that it was important for them to listen to each other and also to find out what the 27 remaining EU countries wanted for the future of the Union.
Es ist völlig klar, dass wir jetzt eine Situation haben, die weder Hysterie noch Schockstarre erlaubt. Wir dürfen nicht in hektische Aktivitäten verfallen, die so tun, als seien alle Antworten schon bereit. Und wir dürfen aber auch nach der britischen
The leaders also agreed that there were several issues, including the migrant crisis, high unemployment and the security issues post the terror attacks in Paris and Brussels, that needed to be addressed by the Union. EU states have already urged Britain to hold speedy talks on leaving the bloc. The founding members want the negotiations to begin as soon as possible. The first summit of EU leaders with no British representation will be held on Wednesday, a day after David Cameron holds talks with members. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
Meanwhile, protests are being held across the United Kingdom a day after a historic referendum which saw the country leaving the European Union. Pro-EU and pro-migrant protests were held, calling for a second referendum vote. In fact, over 1 million people have already signed the petition that demands a second EU vote. Meanwhile, European leaders and the UN have called out for a smooth and amicable transition as the UK prepares to leave the EU.
A day after the United Kingdom chose to exit European Union, hundreds of pro-EU protesters held demonstrations across London and Scotland against the referendum. The protesters are calling for a re-vote, with already more than 1 million people signing a petition for a second referendum. Pro-migrant protesters also staged a rally in central London, fearing stricter control of migrants, which was one of the central issues of the Leave campaigners.
I'm worried because I don't know what's going to happen after Brexit actually happens. I don't know how it's going to be. We are going to need work permits, visas, or we have to go back to our countries. I don't know.
Meanwhile, French President François Hollande said Britain should leave the European Union in an orderly fashion. Hollande said EU must reinvent itself to prevent its breakup and restore the confidence of voters.
Il y a pour la planète entière une interrogation. Que va-t-il se passer? Moi, j'ai profondément déploré le vote britannique. Je le respecte parce que c'est la démocratie.
United Nations Secretary General Ban Ki-moon also hoped that UK and EU would continue to play an active role at the UN.
L'Union européenne et la Grande-Bretagne pour continuer à être des partenaires solides des Nations Unies en matière de développement et d'affaires.
Quitting the EU could cost Britain access to the EU's trade barrier-free single market, which means it must now seek new trade accords with countries around the world. Credit rating agency Moody's has downgraded the UK's economic outlook from stable to negative, saying Britain faces a prolonged period of uncertainty. The IMF has urged the UK and Europe to work collaboratively towards a new economic relationship.
Well, we are very respectful of the decision that has been made. We are comforted by the statement of the Governor of the Central Bank and the authorities concerning liquidity, stability, and we stand ready to help in any way we can, our membership, in good cooperation, and we hope for a as smooth as possible transition.
With demands of a second referendum vote, the Parliament's Petitions Committee, which considers whether a submission should be raised in the House, will hold its next meeting on Tuesday. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
Meanwhile, in the US, Democratic presidential candidate Bernie Sanders is in discussions with Hillary Clinton, in fact her campaigners, to come with serious proposals that will help transform America. Sanders' comments came after weeks of pressure from the Democratic Party officials to throw his weight behind Clinton, the presumptive nominee. In an interview with a television channel on Friday, Sanders maintained his main goal is to defeat the presumptive Republican nominee Donald Trump, and he will therefore vote for Clinton if it comes down to it. However, he declined to fully endorse Clinton, saying that he is waiting to see what she says about his priorities. The presidential candidate has not dropped out of the race. Nominally, he's still in it.
We are talking to the Clinton campaign to try to determine whether or not they can come up with some very serious proposals which will help us transform America. Whether it will happen or not remains a good question. I don't know. We are working with them right now. All right, number two, what we are trying to do also is to come up with the most progressive platform that the Democrats have ever had. And a platform is a piece of paper. That's what it is. Doesn't mean anything. But what we have got to do is demand and make certain, and this is where all of us have got to do that platform becomes part of the Democratic Congress's agenda.
And here are more updates from across the world in Global Buzz. 3 people were killed and 2 injured in a shooting at Maryland and Washington last night. One of the injured is in a critical condition. Officials claim that a preliminary probe indicates this was not a random act. The police is still searching for the suspect involved. Thousands of Australians marched in Sydney, Melbourne, Brisbane and Perth carrying rainbow flags and signs to support same-sex marriage. Protesters demanded that whichever party wins the 2nd July national elections should quickly introduce same-sex marriage laws. The ruling Conservative and opposition Labour have both promised to introduce the laws if they got back to power. Back to the US, and 2 people have died and 100 homes destroyed due to a massive wildfire in California. 800 firefighters are struggling to control it. The fierce fire sent 3 firefighters to the hospital and forced hundreds of citizens to evacuate their homes. California Governor Jerry Brown declared a state of emergency for Kern County. Authorities also warned that 3,000 citizens of Lake Isabella region to be prepared to evacuate for their safety. The fire that broke out last week has destroyed more than 30,000 acres. Meanwhile, heavy floods have ravaged West Virginia in the U.S., killing at least 20 people. Normal life has been disrupted, with thousands being rescued from swamped homes. Around 66,000 homes are without electricity. The governor of West Virginia declared an emergency in 44 of the 55 subdivisions and deployed 200 members of the National Guard to help rescue operations. And finally, let's get you all the latest from the world of sports in Sports Beat. Indian sprinter Dutee has qualified for the Rio Olympics in the women's 100 meters category. Dutee clocked 11.30 seconds, beating the Rio Olympics qualification mark of 11.32 seconds at an event in Kazakhstan. She became the first Indian woman to qualify for the event since 1980, when PT Usha qualified for the Olympics. Flyshram Devendra Singh's dream of competing in the Rio Olympics came to an end after he lost in the semi-finals at the World Qualifying Tournament. Devendra put up a brave fight before going down 1-2 to Carmona Heredia Samuel of Spain. Devendra, however, became the 3rd Indian to claim a bronze medal in the competition after Manoj Kumar and Vikas Krishnan Yadav. The World Anti-Doping Agency, or WADA, has suspended credentials for a testing lab in Rio de Janeiro just 6 weeks before the city hosts the Olympics. WADA took the decision due to non-conformity with international laboratory standards. The Rio lab has 21 days to appeal the decision to an arbitration court. Defending champion Novak Djokovic and 7-time winner Roger Federer have been drawn to meet in the semi-finals of this year's Wimbledon, which starts on Monday. Djokovic, who is the current world number 1 and bidding to take another step closer to the first calendar Grand Slam since 1969, has defeated Federer in the last 2 finals at the All England Club. And that's all we have for you on the news tonight. Thank you so much for joining us.